check it out. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so línea aquí, línea aquí y fuera. So todo, everything's open aquí. I'm gonna start my cut acá. I'm gonna wiggle in. I feel the bone, the backbone.
Yeah.
I'm just pushing. I come out, está bien. I'm only using this much of the knife,
tip, right?
just the tip. And while I'm doing it, I'm also applying pressure to where I'm cutting. That way I have a better surface area for the knife. So I'm gonna place my knife back on that backbone, and I'm just gonna keep pushing till I come out. So if you look, I've created a line. So before I made this cut, I made this line in my head.
You connected with that one, right?
Correct. We're gonna do like connect the dots. So when I'm here, I'm gonna turn my knife in and come out. So that way I can see. Oh wait, I didn't even open. I'm sorry. We're gonna back up. So I've made my imaginary line. You can see the bones.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put my knife back in, and you can see I missed. It happens to the best of us. So I'm above the bone. I'm gonna reset that cut with just the tip of my knife, and you can hear the bones. You know.
Yeah.
Click, click. That's what you want to hear. So like I said, I've gone below. That's all right. We'll fix that cut. We've done that. My corner is open. I want to open all the corners of my fish.
Yeah.
So that my corner is open. I can see the vertebrae or the backbone. So I'm going to, again, use the tip. I'm just going to follow this line I've created, and I'm going to keep following the bone structure of the fish.
You continue, right, for the
Correct.
second line?
And since I've opened this corner and I can get on the backbone, mira, mi cochillo, I'm bending it. And I'm not sawing, I'm just pushing. See?
Yeah. And that is up on the head, right?
Correct. We've gone through the ribs, so now you can see the rib cage of the fish, right? I've actually already broken the ribs apart from the pin. We call these pin bones, right? So since I've made my cut and I can see the skeletal structure of the fish, I'm gonna put my knife up on these bones, and I call it coming out the butt. So you're gonna go through and out where the butt would be of the fish. My knife is in the fish and I'm on the bone. So my knife can't go into the bottom loin. And all I'm doing, one motion.
Push it out, dude.
That's all I did. Push it out, right? So now I have all my corners open.
It's a really nice cut.
I can see the entire structure of the fish. I would go over the ribs, but I don't want you guys to learn that just yet. So what I'm gonna do is this. You can see, so that way you can get it on video. This rib right here is what connects my loin. I can't get this off because the ribs are connected to it, right?
Yes.
I can rip it off, but I don't want to do that. This is just for demonstration purposes. So what I'm gonna do is, let me get the right knife first. Dude, we got a cutter on our hands, brother. So I'm gonna take our deba, I'm gonna lay it right upon the backbone. Normally I would do one motion to go forward, but I'm gonna chop it, that way you can see what's going on. So I'm gonna hit it. So now you can see I freed that structure. Those bones are no longer connected to the carcass, right? The only thing that's really holding it now is this membrane, and that's just stomach lining. That's fine. So now I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna lay it back down because I'm not out yet. This line is not only to connect our cuts, but it's also to open the fish to see my knife, because I don't want to be like this and the knife go into my hand. You can see through it. So what I want to do now is I'm gonna grab the tail, right? Not the meat.
Yeah, the tail.
You're gonna grab the actual carcass, pull, and go forward at the same time. So now breaking all the pin bones, we have a clean cut.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
I missed a little bit, but it's like I said, it's okay. That's also because I went below the skeletal structure of the fish, which is okay because I fixed the cut. That way it wasn't that noticeable. So now we're gonna repeat the whole thing. Same process.
The same process.
So I'm picking up our dorsal fin, or I'm picking up this fin, dude, and you can see the lines that go underneath the gill plate. So I've started the cut, but again, on small fish like this, I'm always using just no more less than half of this knife.
Yeah.
So I've started this cut. I'm gonna put my knife in and I'm flexing it as I push. So as I come out the bottom of the fish, I've begun this line. So again, like we did on the other side, I'm envisioning a line. I've made a line, I'm gonna make another line, and then I'm gonna make a third line to connect this, open this corner, so we can see the entirety skeletal structure of the fish, and then we'll finish our cuts. So there's line number one. Again, behind the gills when I get behind the head, I flatten my knife out to get a good angle because some fish will actually have a lot more head to it. So then I'll do another line through, free up all of our meat. So what I was telling the boys is what I like to do. So there, if you draw an imaginary line on top of these fins, right, on top of these spikes, there's a line right there.
Yeah.
You follow that line, you keep following it, it ends. And then it becomes the tail. Your knife wants to go right there. That's your pressure point, right where that line ends and the tail begins. Salud. Salud, amor mío. Okay, so check it out, dude. I'm gonna use just the tip of my knife to get in. And once I'm in that line that I've created in my head, I've hit the backbone of the fish. So my knife isn't gonna go. So I know I can't move. I'm gonna flex my knife as I'm pushing the knife down. I'm flexing. I'm just gonna hold the head so it doesn't move on me, and I'm gonna push forward. So after that's done, I can see the skeletal structure of the fish.
Yeah.
So I'll reset my knife. I'm now on the backbone of the fish, and I'm bending my knife, and I'm just pushing forward. Those clicks is money. You want to hear that because you're up against the carcass, right? So now I've hit those ribs. My knife's not going to go through it. I can go over the ribs, but I don't want you guys to learn that cut yet until you know the anatomy of the fish. So with that being said, I don't have this corner open, right? I started here, but I don't have it open. So I'm going to put my knife in right where that backbone's at, and I'm going to use just that much of the knife. And same thing, I'm bending, using that backbone for pressure, and I'm just pushing. So now I'm open. I can see the backbone completely. So that's the middle of the fish. That's this part of the fish, right? So this whole part of the fish is open, except this. So what I want to do is come back here, go back behind that first cut, and listen to my knife. You'll hear a crack, right? So I twist it. Hear the crack? So that means that bone is broken. I can now see the inside of my ribs, right? So now I want to go, same thing, out the butt, right? So I go where the butt would be. My knife is sitting on top of the bones. Like I'm gonna do it like this so you can see the whole thing. Come on this side so you can watch on this side. So my knife is on the bones and I'm pushing down on the knife so it flexes. And I'm pushing forward at the same time. And that opens up the bottom cut. And I let the knife do all the work. All I did was flex it and push it. And now we're wide open, right? So the only thing left connecting this fish is the rib cage. And you can see it from both sides. There's ribs right here, right? So what you guys will do at this point, you'll flip the fish over, right? Hold on, I think, did I do this backwards? I did do it backwards, okay. So you would put the knife in between that rib cage and the spine, hand, palm on the head. Yeah. Because you don't want to put it here, squash the meat, or hit your hand, right? Or what you could do too is hold the tail. And that, like same motion, I'm gonna pull as I push the knife. And if you listen, you'll hear the cracks, right? And I can't move my knife anymore porque it's in the cabeza. And this line that we created right here, to begin with, when my knife is done, I can use it to come out. And I can see my knife, right? That comes off, bam. Right, and it's like I said, so I still missed a little bit. I went under over here, but we fixed the cut. But as long as you have integrity of keeping that whole pin bone line together, the fish won't fall apart. So you can put your knife really anywhere. It's just the amount of meat you leave on the skeleton. As long as you can get through that rib cage, you're golden. And now that we're here, like I said, let me show you this. So normally after we're done cutting fish, what we'll do is we like to take the ribs off. You guys are gonna have to learn how to do this as well. We'll follow, same thing like cutting the whole fish. There's a line here. We'll draw an imaginary line. Ribs, all those pin bones, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna take, again, the tip of my knife right behind it, and I'm pushing against the meat, right? So as I push up against that meat, I'm pushing forward, and I'll put my hand behind the knife, right? And you can see I'm going right, bam, behind these bones. So now that I've opened up all these lines, again, I'll just let the knife do all the work. I'll put my knife up, and like I was showing Miguel, right? So each one, look, Ida, 1, All these bones right here,
Yeah.
you can do one at a time. So I can get behind one and follow it out, and get behind another and follow it out. So these are still connected. I'll do that here. There's one bone right there. I'll follow it out. There's a bone right there. You can see it right there in the middle. Get in front of it and follow it out. So now we've removed the ribs, so no one will choke on that. And this is basically what we're left with. So all of this that was right here, we've now removed. Now you'll be able, once you get to a point of cutting fish, you won't have to do this step, and it'll save you a lot of time in your cutting skills. But this is the best way to start. So again, we're gonna repeat the process. If you look, get behind all this membrane. There's bones here. 1, 2, 3. There's a bunch of bones right here. I gotta get rid of, because if someone tries to eat this, they're gonna choke. So I'm gonna start at the bottom. Look, I'll do it the other way so you guys can see it. This is how I used to do it. There's one bone right there, right?
Yeah, one.
Bam, gone. Right, so then I'll find the next bone. There's another one. And the whole time, my knife is up. I'm not going down, because watch. If I go down into the meat, I'm cutting into the fish.
Yeah.
So the whole time, my knife is up. And I'm finding the next bone. I'm putting my knife just the tip in between it. I'm holding it, and I'm just pushing forward. And the bones will come out one by one. But what we want you guys to learn how to do is to find the little valley that's behind the bones. Open up that little valley, and then you can put your knife behind the bones, because these are all bones right here. And again, my knife is flexed, right? And all I'm doing is pushing. And it comes right off. And then there you got 2 boneless fillets. The next thing we would do is we would skin them, but we'll go over that later. I want you guys to get the cuts down first. And then after that, we'll be good. You guys will be cutting fish before you know it. Fucking Jose's killing it, though. I'll tell you that.
Thank you, Jeremy. This is my professor today for all my coworkers.
The maestro, dude. Maestro.
El maestro.
Or papi.
Se va a ir para McAllen, Texas y Reynosa.
Puro pinche 956, vato loco.